Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to learn listening English with a story. Story name, The Billionaire Who Never Forgot His Village. In a quiet countryside village, there lived an old man named Mr. Thomas. He was not just any man. He was a retired billionaire, known across the country for his success in agriculture. But despite his wealth, Mr. Thomas was humble and kind, and he never forgot where he came from or the people who helped him along the way. Many years ago, Mr. Thomas was just a poor farmer. He struggled to make ends meet and often worried about how he would feed his family. But the villagers were always there to help him. They shared their food, offered their time, and gave him advice on how to grow better crops. "We're all in this together," they would say. With the support of his neighbors and his own hard work, Mr. Thomas slowly began to succeed. He experimented with new farming methods and worked long hours in the fields. Over time, his small farm grew larger. He started producing more crops than he could sell at the local market. That's when he had an idea to expand his business beyond the village. Mr. Thomas began selling his crops to nearby towns and cities. His reputation for quality produce spread quickly. Soon, he was not just selling food, he was teaching other farmers how to improve their own harvests. His business grew, and before long, he became a very wealthy man. But no matter how successful he became, Mr. Thomas always remembered the village that had helped him when he was struggling. When Mr. Thomas retired, he decided to return to the village where it all began. "This is my home," he told the reporters who came to interview him. "The people here are my family." Now an old man, Mr. Thomas dedicated his time and money to giving back to the village. He built a new school for the children so they could have better opportunities. "Every child deserves an education," he said during the opening ceremony. The school was filled with books, computers, and even a small playground. He also repaired the village roads, making it easier for farmers to transport their goods to the markets. "I remember how hard it was to move crops on these old roads," he said. "It's time to make life a little easier for everyone." One of Mr. Thomas's most special projects was building a large community center. The center had a library, a clinic, and a big hall where villagers could hold meetings and celebrations. "This is a place for all of us," he told the crowd at the grand opening. "A place where we can come together, just like we did when I needed help all those years ago." Mr. Thomas also started a fund to help struggling farmers. He provided them with seeds, tools, and even small loans to help them get back on their feet. "I know how hard farming can be," he said. "No one should have to do it alone." Every evening, Mr. Thomas could be found sitting on the porch of his old farmhouse, surrounded by villagers who came to share stories and laughter. "You've done so much for us," they would say. But Mr. Thomas would always reply, "I'm just returning the kindness you gave me." As the years passed, the village flourished. The school produced many successful students who went on to become teachers, doctors, and engineers. The roads made it easier for farmers to sell their crops, and the community center became a hub of activity and joy. When Mr. Thomas passed away, the entire village came together to mourn the man who had done so much for them. His funeral was held in the community center he had built, and the hall was filled with flowers and pictures of his life. One of the villagers stood up to speak. "Mr. Thomas was not just a billionaire, he was a man with a big heart. He never forgot us, and because of him, our village has a brighter future." The villagers decided to honor his memory by renaming the community center after him. A plaque was placed at the entrance that read, "In loving memory of Mr. Thomas, a farmer, a leader, and a friend to all." Though he was gone, Mr. Thomas's legacy lived on in the hearts of the villagers and in the prosperity of the land he had once worked so hard to build. Hope you enjoyed the story. Please like and subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. Thank you.